So last time what we briefly saw that, okay, in the organization level first. Okay, in the organization level, we have the organization setting, and here uh, parallel jobs. Okay, it will show us like what is our capability in that organization, the entire. So whatever projects is there in the organization, okay, maybe one or multiple anything. This is a combination of all. So in all the projects at a given amount, at a given current time, how many jobs can run in parallel? Okay, so there are 20 pipelines are there, and all everything you triggered. Okay, and I am using private project only. So at a point, those 20 only one will run. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in self-hosted, and one it will take from here. One is free tier, only one allowed. Here it is saying one parallel job up to 1800 minutes per month. Okay, so at a time only two jobs will run parallelly. Other 18 jobs, if I have got 20 pipelines, all the other 18 pipeline will be waiting in queue. Okay, till these two finishes. Okay, till any one of this, so it will take. So so first thing is to check in pipelines and all. We have to see either you increase the Microsoft hosted agents. Okay, the Microsoft hosted agents is $40 per month. It takes. It's a fixed cost for that. So if we click on the purchase and all, it will give somewhere that costing and all. Yeah. Yeah, there is some link where it gets billing is not. Okay, no, that's fine. But for the billing, the prices may change or something and all. But currently, it is fixed at around $40 per month per agent. Okay, for Microsoft side. So in
So
that, what? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, go
per
ahead.
agent, you said.
Yeah, for the agent. Okay.
So for
So
the pipeline, basically not for an application or something like that.
yeah, no pipeline you can create any. That's not a problem. Okay. So
Yeah.
but they have to execute somewhere, right? So wherever you are executing, you have two choices. Either you can execute on your own server. Okay.
Okay.
So some VM you create and all, and you execute there. So those are called self-hosted agents. Okay. So agents mean wherever the pipeline will execute, that name of that device server is called agent. Okay. If it is owned by,
Name of the device, like
hmm,
Azure Devops device, or
no, it's just a VM. Anything. It can do it on your laptop also. Okay. On our computer, anywhere you can do. If we can do that in your own laptop also, you can run that. So your pipeline will run your laptop from here only. Okay, we'll show that now in demo.
so that is a deployment, you mean?
No, not the deployment means some agent is active means those are kind of workers. Okay, so okay, so let's say here we have our pipelines. Okay, many pipelines are there. Okay,
Mm.
pipeline one, pipeline two, many pipelines are there like that. So this pipelines has got. So what is a pipeline? So pipeline are a sequence of tasks. Okay, so like how we do in a script or a bash or a script or something like that, you will have a single command. Usually many commands when you do in sequence and all, they are called scripts. Okay, you put all those things in a file, and then it will run locally. Okay, so for example here, or I can go to okay, CMD. Here I have written one command, just one single command. It gave me output. Okay, but now I want this output to be executed at night 2 o'clock. Okay, this is a very simple command. The actual one there will be different. A lot of commands and all will be there and all. Okay, so this command, if I have to execute at night 2 a.m., so I am not going to go and type, right? Everybody, it is not possible. Or maybe this command needs to be run every 1 hour like that. Okay, or some maybe this command ping google.com. Okay, so this command needs to be executed every hour or something. So what we will do, we will put them in a in a file, and we will call it as a script. So these are our script, very simple terms. These simple a single command or multiple commands and all. Okay, so these once uh, put in a file and all, and once saved and all, so these will constitute the script. Okay, let's see a sample one. And those will be the smallest task in a pipeline. Okay, so the pipeline will take similar such scripts and all, and it will run in sequence. Okay, so let me open new folder. Okay, or wherever. So this is now my command is there. Okay, so these are some three commands only I am doing, and this is my smallest task in a pipeline. Okay, so these kind of things will be many. Okay, many such tasks will be there, but this is, think it as a simple single isolated task. Okay, so now we will go in the view.
Basically, some code. Is it?
Some code, yeah, some executable code which can execute. Okay,
Mm.
so any Java code, .NET, anything like which can execute. Okay, like
Mm.
that kind of thing. So we'll just see that how to first run it manually. First, we will see.
Mm. So, are we checking whether the code is working or not?
Yeah, yes. So I'm checking how it. Yeah. So no errors or nothing. Okay. We'll give some.
So, did we check the code also working or not in general? We don't check, right? It-
No, those things will be checked by the the actual, what we say, the developers and all those they will check. Okay. So
Yeah.
this kind of the simplest task. Okay. So a task in a pipeline, you can have multiple tasks. Okay, and that task is the smallest executable thing we can do. So all many tasks and all, when you add, we call that pipeline. Okay, maybe for example, we can say, let's say the developers has given some Python code. Okay, a simple Python file they have given,
Mm.
and they will ask the DevOps engineer like to deploy it in the application, a Windows, sorry, a app service in Azure or
Mm.
AWS, Lambda, or anywhere. They asked the DevOps engineer to deploy. So the DevOps engineer, they will see, okay, they will create a pipeline. So in the deployment, there will be many things will be there. First thing, the pipeline will be distributed into two things. One is a build pipeline and one is release pipeline. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the build part, you have to because the developer would have given just a flat text file, right, a Python file. But
Yeah.
when you want to deploy it in some web server or some server like Azure App Service or Function App or anywhere, so it
Mm.
needs to be in a specific format, specific like package it needs to go. Okay, so you have to create that kind of specific package which it understand, that app service or function app will understand. So building that part is called the build pipeline. Okay, so what you will do, based first you will see, okay, what all dependencies are there. So might be in the code, the developer would be using some commands in the Python, some code they will be using which needs other dependent packages. Okay, because Python and all, you have on top, like what you can do usually, we say, right, use this or import this packages. So it refers other packages as well. Okay, so the first smallest task would be to get those dependent packages. Okay, because when it is executing in the app service and all, everything has to be packaged in that. Whatever dependencies, uh, dependent packages are needed, those all needs to be there in the same place. Okay, so first step would be to get the dependent packages and all. So
So, do we need to get that dependent
yeah,
package?
yes, yeah. So we
So,
we
When they give example a Java code or .NET code,
Yeah, all the code. .NET also it will be there, Java as well, and Python as well. Okay, so because a lot of things code, it is all reusable components. Okay, so somebody would have created some code from Microsoft and also which you are using, reusing it. Okay, so that's why your code is very less. Your code might be 10 lines, but it is using some feature from a third party who has done the bulk of the part. Okay, 1,000 lines and all, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time, so you are just reusing their somebody else's code. Okay, so that is called dependencies. Okay, so let's see in that way, just a sample Python code. Let's see. um, Anything sample I can show you.
yeah, like show me one real-time project from CI/CD completely.
Yeah, okay, yeah, then let
Then
me
I'll
show.
understand
Yeah,
from basics.
yeah. Sample Python project. Let's see.
In some Git, like in GitHub, you can get some codes.
Yeah. And, pipeline, I can show you that one. That's fine. I want to just give a simple first example, but
Mhm.
so they've not given a lot. Okay.
See, there is a GitHub sample project, a sample
Let's
project
see.
of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. These ones we can take.
Python.
Okay.
Mhm.
And notebooks. They've given the note. Okay. So here they've given very some data learning and all the deep learning side, it is there. Okay, pandas and all data analytics and all there, it's there. So what is happening, the users, the end user code will be down. Okay, so these all, whatever is there, the user is doing, but these all things, import numpy as np, import from this, so these are already developed by some other persons, okay, or third party and all. Okay,
Okay,
so
but these
these
are
kind of
libraries. It says
libraries, yeah,
library.
yes, libraries. So these all libraries are a dependency now. Your actual code will be might be 10 lines, okay, but you are depending on, you're dependent on the libraries. Okay, so all these you have to package you in the build pipeline. So these all dependencies will get downloaded. Okay.
So we don't need to find it. They give everything, right? So
Yeah,
they
they give
give,
everything in the code. Yeah, they give everything, or they will sometime Python and all. They will give in a separate text file also called requirements.txt. Okay, so those packages will be there, and in the DevOps pipeline we will see now. We don't have to reinvent completely. All the job on the tasks are already there for each well-known language like frameworks and all, .NET, Python, Java. All those things are already there. Okay, we'll see that. So just wanted to show you kind of these are kind of things in, these are not your code, like these
Mhm.
you are using as a library. So all languages, Java also it will be there something. Okay, and C language even like that will be there. So those are now the dependencies of your program, so you need to download that as part of the build pipeline. Okay, so let's go back to there. Yeah, and we have got two kind of jobs here, like two kind of agents. One is the free tier and the self-hosted. Okay, the self-hosted, mostly the people will go for the self-hosted. Okay, because the data will remain local, first of all, like because nothing, you are not sending any data to Microsoft, and second, uh, from the Microsoft server you cannot access your premises. Okay, so maybe in organizations and all, a lot of things will be there. Okay, for example, might be you will have your own mail servers or some SFTP data servers or many things like that. Okay, or Azure directory servers or something which you want to use, but you cannot connect those from the Microsoft server. Okay, even though the job will run there, but if the job needs some connection to another server within your organization, okay, it cannot do that. So for those reasons, network connectivity reasons and the security reasons, most of the organizations they will go for the self-hosted. Okay.
So self-hosted is local server.
Local. Local
Local.
servers. Yeah, yeah.
But
You
but
can. Mhm.
see, in example, many organizations they are only using cloud services, right?
Yeah, so it could be a VM in cloud, or you can have in container as well. Nowadays, you can even install the self-hosted agent in a container as well. Okay,
Yeah.
but
So
the problems which it gives are quite genuine. First of all, usually the organizations and all will have their own internal network, right? Your IP address, when you connect through VPN, you will get some 10 series, or your VMs, whatever is there, they will have some internal IP address. Okay, 10.x something, or 192 or 172 series. Those IPs will be there. Okay, so from Microsoft, you cannot connect to your premises server, because that will be again a risk if you want to open to the whole world. And the Microsoft agents, these IPs are keep on changing, because you are running one job currently now in Microsoft hosted. After 2 minutes you run one more job in Microsoft hosted, the IP will change, because you don't know which server you land, because they have million, like thousands of servers, the Microsoft. Okay, and they are not fixed. Okay, so whichever is available, your job will run in that if you are going for a Microsoft hosted. Okay, so that's why the IPs are keep on changing. So now one option is that you open your organization to a lot of wide range of Microsoft, like region specific, all the IPs of Azure, like UK South or something like that, you can open. That is one option. But again, the security risk, you are opening it for a very wide range of IPs. Okay, as you don't know what is the IP of the Microsoft hosted server all the time. Okay, but
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So but on self-hosted is as you said, it is only local servers if they maintain somewhere, or is it like that?
Yeah, local servers, like within your network, whatever is there in your network, it could be in cloud also, that's fine. Okay, but it should be in your within your network.
Within the
Okay,
network means?
like when you connect to your office, you may be connecting some VPN or something like that, right? Some connection you will get, right? Do
VPN is a private.
private or something like that. So your organization will have some internal addressing, like you would have your own Azure subscription, your own VNet, something is there, right? Your VNet where the VMs are there, or services, past services, they are there. So
Yeah.
that is part of the organization network. Okay, even though it is hosting in cloud, that's fine, but it is a restricted to your organization only. Nobody else from outside can connect to that.
Okay. Okay. So we will talk in that terms. Yeah,
Yeah.
because most of them now into
Or
cloud.
cloud, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
everywhere now, like most of the time, it is cloud only. So cloud, it could be a VM. Okay, this self-hosted, like a server in Azure. So you can host your agent there. Okay, or you can also host your agent in a container or a cluster as well. Okay, but they will be cost little bit more in that. Like cluster cost is more. Okay, so you can host it uh, on a container like that as well. Okay,
Mm.
so then you don't have to do patching and all that management stuff for a VM. Okay, so both the options are there. So at a top level, two types of agent: Microsoft hosted, self-hosted. Okay, so you have to see whichever is the cost is cheaper. So Microsoft hosted, it is coming $40 per agent per month.
Yeah.
Okay, this one self-hosted is up to you. There is no license cost or anything like that. It's all free, but still there is some cost, right? Because it is a compute, some search or something. It is there you're doing, so it will still. So you have to see whichever is like beneficial. And next thing you have to see whether is there any network restriction or something. You are trying to connect any other service from your own network. Okay, so like have you gone through the basics of like VNet and subnet and all that on Azure?
Uh, Little bit, not too deep, not deep.
Okay, no worries. So let's say this is my VNet. Okay, so organization network. So assuming like the organization has no presence in the on-premises. Okay, like they don't have any data centers, everything in Azure. Okay, so they will have their own VNet. Okay, they could have multiple VNets and all. They could have multiple VNets. Okay, for different projects or maybe dev or whatever, however they want. So your VM is and inside a VNet there will be again subnets will be there. Okay, different subnets will be there. Okay, multiple subnets will be there. So that is the further segmentation. Okay,
Yeah.
subnet. Maybe this is a web subnet. Maybe this subnet is app subnet. Okay, and in the subnet we'll have the IP addresses and all. Okay, so maybe the VNet range is this one 110.0.0.0/16. So it is segmented this way. This one 10.0.0.0.0.0/24. Okay, so the last bit on this one will have only 256, 255, like usable will be some 252 IPs or there. Okay, so now in this subnet I have a VM. Okay, so in this subnet also I have a VM. Maybe this is my database subnet. Okay, my DB subnet. So now my pipeline is running in Azure. Okay, the in the Microsoft one,
Azure DevOps, you mean?
Microsoft hosted agent. Okay, so now my core that pipeline is running here. Okay, so when the pipeline is running and all, so uh, finally, let's say it want to deploy something inside my VM. Okay, it has to do something inside my VM and all. Okay, then it needs to be allowed, right, to go to here. Okay, like let's say it has to dump something finally, some package and all inside this VM. Okay, or
Mm.
write something inside that. Okay, so in that
Container,
case,
basically.
yeah, container or anything like it has to deploy some files,
Mm.
executable files and all. Maybe it is IAS web server. Now updated code is there. It has to be pushed to here. Okay, so now it cannot do because the ports needs to be allowed for this VM. Okay, then how you can do? You need a public IP for this because this internal IP 10.0.0, these are invalid IP. These are called only private IPs. Okay, these IPs won't be visible in the internet. Okay, so this will never able to reach this IP. So then you would need a public IP to be attached. Then again, you have to pay extra for the public IP. Okay, if you are getting a static public IP, and then you have to open the port as well for this Microsoft hosted agent because the pipeline is running here. Okay, your all the steps are running here, and finally it is pushing something to that server. Okay, once the job is done. But even though you get a public IP,
Hosted, my this MS hosted agent, where it is sitting.
in Microsoft premises. Okay, we don't know where it is, but in Microsoft it
So it
could
is
be in
Azure Cloud, basically.
Azure Cloud, yeah, Azure Cloud,
Okay.
but public IP and all. Okay, it is doesn't belong to your. Okay, it doesn't belong to your dedicated way, your organization.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so one job currently you just executed a pipeline, it ran here. Next time you are running it, it will be running in some other Microsoft hosted agent. Okay, this hosted agent will be used to some other client, or they will delete it and give it. Okay, so it is very dynamic, like
Yeah.
thousands of such agents will be there. Okay,
Mm.
so we don't even know whether it is a VM or container and all. Okay, because it is something where it executes. That's it. Okay,
No,
so there is.
if it is a container, we'll get the details of it, right? Where we're running, that is up to us, isn't it? Like, if you want
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah, you can fix it. Yeah, yes, correct. That's fine. But if you are just fixing the operating system that I need only maybe Ubuntu, I need only something, then it doesn't care whether it could be a physical machine or that. You can demand it, like my pipeline should run on this kind of thing and all that. But
uh-huh.
usually what we do, we just give the operating system. Okay, for my these jobs and all mostly might be Linux related or something, or Node.js. Let's say I have to do a deployment of a Node.js, then I don't care whether it's a Windows or Linux and all. Okay, so I will just go for Linux, which is much cheaper. So they will just pipeline just runs there. The commands, everything is same. There is no difference between Windows or Linux and all in that. Okay, so then we don't know what we get. Either it is a container or that, because whatever you are demanding, you are saying just I need a agent with Ubuntu operating system. That's it. Okay,
Mm.
so it could be a container also. I don't care because it's running fine. That's only matter. Okay, so it executed fine, and the end it has to push something to your some other server. Okay, but now it is a problem because this agents and all cannot reach to the private. Okay, so if this is the requirement, this kind of requirement, then you have to go for a hosted agent. Okay, or maybe you need some access for a mail server, like uh, a deployment step. One of the deployment steps says that send an email to some team and all. Okay, and your mail server is inside your another subnet. Okay, then you cannot get the access to this. So you have to examine which scenario I have to go for a MS hosted agent, and which time I have to go for a self-hosted agent. Okay, so this scenario we have to go for a self-hosted where we have some dependency with on-prem, your own network. Okay, your own network. Now let's say there is another use case which is most of the common use case, like 60-70% of the use case. You have a Node.js pipeline and all, or a Python pipeline. You do the deployment and then push it to a Azure web app. Okay, so then you have no dependency on your own network, because the Azure web app and all, everything will have public IPs. Okay, so when you create a web app or a function app and all that, it will be in Azure only. It will be belonging to your organization only, but it will have a public IP. Okay, it is a PaaS service. It will have a public IP. So then your pipeline, once it is executed, it will deploy that here directly. Okay, there is no dependency. So in those cases, go for the Microsoft hosted agent. Okay, and again, you have to see if you have multiple pipelines, like what is the volume of the pipeline, how quick, like how frequently they are running. Based on that, also you need to take a call. So because this one is,
Parallel jobs is nothing but like pipelines are running in the.
yeah, yes, yeah, pipelines are running in that. Again,
Mhm.
one pipeline you can have jobs. Okay, one pipeline also you can have multiple jobs inside the pipeline. Okay, and what the Azure tends to do is it will try to run all the jobs parallelly. Okay, so in those cases, it will take these as a parallel job then. So in your one single pipeline, so let's say there are three jobs. Okay, so those three jobs uh, will be, if they are running parallelly, then they will take three licenses from here. Means it needs three, then only they can run. Okay, so
Okay, they take three from there, so
yeah.
run parallel jobs.
Yeah. So even if let's say you only have two pipelines, but one pipeline has got three jobs. Okay, so it will occupy like here, and let's say your two is there, free tier only two Microsoft hosted. So the second pipeline will still wait. Okay, like that till the first one finishes all the three jobs. Okay, or as and when it has got two, like one free, it will do.
So you mean to say
Mhm,
when there is a three jobs in
mhm.
one
Pipeline.
pipeline, it can
Mhm,
run,
mhm.
but it
So
has to run one by one, right?
it will try to run, because the limit is two here. So it can only run two at a time. Two it can run parallelly. Okay, so even your pipeline has got three jobs. Okay, so those three jobs, two only can run at a time, and once one of the job is finished, then the last one will run. Okay, so we don't know which one will go first and all, because it will try to do parallelly. You can definitely enforce what should be the order and what should be how it does the dependency, like which one should run first and which one and all.
Yeah.
but but if you have not given anything, what it will do, it will randomly take all three, it will try to execute. Okay,
Mm. Okay.
parallelly, like whichever
Yeah.
quicker way is there. Okay,
Mm.
but you can enforce your dependencies, because maybe the jobs are doing different things. Might be the first one is building a web, one second one is deploying a app, one something like that. So you can definitely enforce those dependencies, like which job has to run first, which one has to be, like that. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's up to you. Usually users try to do sequentially in that, unless there is no dependencies. In ideally
Mhm.
the jobs are completely isolated, but in practice and all, they do they try to configure it in a sequential way. Okay, so, and let's say one pipeline is having one single job only, so one pipeline will take one license from here, like if your Microsoft hosted is one, so currently in this scenario also it's one, so only one pipeline can run at a time. Okay, and this is our self-hosted. So let's see first how to create a self-hosted agent. Okay, Microsoft hosted agent, uh, we don't have to create and all. It's up to Microsoft only to give. Okay, so currently it says self-hosted only one is there. So, and that agent creation will be done from the project level. Okay, organization level, we can see what is the capability, how many are there total. And this is one more thing, public projects, 10 they have given here, Microsoft hosted, self-hosted unlimited. Okay, so because public projects will be all visible to the entire world, so that's why they have given, they're more encouraging to do the like public projects and all. Okay, open source project, those kind of thing where your project is visible to the entire world. Okay, but usually in organization it will be mostly private. Okay, so this we have seen in the organization. Now let's go back to our project level. Now in the project level settings, our this part will be there first in the pipelines. So this is the pipeline settings. So the first one is the agent pools. Now whatever agents are there, they're kept in a pool. Okay, they're kept in a pool, just a grouping of agents. Okay, because having a single agent is not going to give a big help, because that agent might be down sometime, might be that patching or something is going on that, so down, so your job will be waiting. So that's why having one single agent is of no use. You create
Like agent and job, what is the difference actually?
like job is something where it will execute on that agent. Okay,
Yeah, and
so
the agent,
yeah, the agent is the machine where it will
okay,
execute.
where it
Okay,
is
yeah,
executing.
exactly.
Okay,
So let's
okay.
see now. So first we will create a pool. Okay, we'll just, it is just an empty container, just the name of that, where the agents will be there. Okay,
Mhm.
so wait, yeah, so we are creating a pool. We can create a self-hosted and Azure virtual machine scale set. Okay, so this is if the organization is using the VMSS and all Azure virtual machine, they can go for this, but most of the like time they will go for the self-hosted. Okay, so when we go for the self-hosted, give some pool name. Okay, we gave here demo pool, and then click which pipelines can use it. Might be you have got 10 pipelines of different projects. Okay, sales accounts, something R&D, some different your projects within your organization, different departments are there, they have their own pipeline. But if you give permission to all, then all the one they can use your server. Okay, whatever your pool, it's up to you. So all pipelines can be executed here. Okay, so if
All
you
the
if it
pipelines can be executed here.
yeah, if you click here, then it grants the permission to all pipelines. So whatever pipelines are there, they can all use this agent pool. Okay, so that's fine. We can give it at this point. But yeah, in organization, when you have to limit, then you don't have to give. When you run the pipeline, it will ask the permission separately. Okay,
Mhm. So this is a release pipeline we're doing, or
it will be for both. Okay, so it needs like the build pipeline or release pipeline and all. It needs somewhere to run, right? So
okay.
it is that somewhere. Okay, so it doesn't care what pipeline is there, what is that, it won't see that. But when we are creating a pipeline, that build pipeline, release pipeline, okay, or YAML pipeline, we have to give this information, which pool it is going to run. Okay, so that so this is the place. Okay, so we create that. Now demo pool. So now it is empty. Here, if we see on the agents, nothing is there. So it is, so it needs some agent. So let's click a new agent. Okay. So now it is giving Windows, Mac OS, Linux. So it supports all these three, and Linux also it has got many flavors. Windows also x86, 64. Mac is not there. Okay, like that. So now what will happen? We have to.
Linux, it is showing even ARM templates.
Yeah, yes. ARM.
64. But
And,
why Windows is not showing ARM template?
it's the CPU that ARM CPU which man. created by that one, right?
Well, the
AMD,
CPU is not
AMD
like
or
a
Mac, yeah.
not
Huh.
like a
No, no, not like ARM templates. That is separate completely, Azure ARM templates.
so
Azure
you're
Resource Manager, yeah.
selecting the CPU now.
Yeah, CPU types, yeah. Yeah. Usually all will be mostly 64-bit only. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll currently we'll do two examples. My machine is Windows, so it is given here. Let me go take the Windows one. Okay. So you can copy the entire thing here. So it is just saying in the PowerShell screen, in the PowerShell one. So let's open a PowerShell PowerShell app, run as admin. Okay. Now let me paste this. So this will create me an agent. So first it is done. Let me go to the proper step.
You can do this from Visual Studio also.
Yeah, yes, yeah. From the Visual Studio as well, we can do same from the terminal window. Okay, so
Hmm.
first it is saying mkdir and cd agent. So it is creating a folder and going inside that folder. Okay, then add agent type and all, configure the agent, then download the agent. We'll keep the agent downloaded there. Wget works. Oh yeah, it works. Oh, download.
So you're just downloading the configuration files
No, the binaries file, yeah, binary file and all. So,
to configure the CPU.
yeah, yeah, to configure the agent, to run the agent.
Yeah. So agent is nothing but a CPU, right? And where
Yeah,
we run.
yes. So
So we have
now
to
we
go.
can do obvious. See if it is finished. The agent. Now we'll copy the file here. Okay. Now in the PowerShell, it is telling that to execute this command. We'll copy that
You have
and we'll
created an
paste.
agent in your local system or what?
No, just a folder we created, empty folder. In that our where is it? Yeah, here in the PowerShell. Okay, we just created an empty folder, and whatever we downloaded from here, the downloaded the agent, the zip file, we kept it in the same folder. Okay, so till now only that is done. So now that next they have asked this command to run add type and all, but here they have kept the download path as this. So we will just change that because they are defaulting to the downloads folder. Okay, and yeah, or we can also do that. Let me put that in my downloads folder only. Oh, already there, right? Skip this file. Okay, so let's just copy this command and run that in the paste it here. Copy. Oh, yeah. Let's run this. Okay, it did that. Let's see what anything it created. So now we see that it has created some folder, some files and all it has created inside that. Okay. See agent, I just created initially an empty folder, but after extracting that, it created all this inside that. Okay. So now it
Config
is,
file and run file
oh,
node.
yes.
So this is just basically a code
uh,
that you to
to create and create the agent. Okay. Where our pipeline will run in this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So next config.cmd, it may prompt something. Okay. So it is first, it is asking what is the server URL. Okay. We go to our, where is our projects? Yeah. So this one, what is the server URL? We have to give the organization level. Okay. This one till the organization, give that, enter. Enter authentication type, press enter for pat. Okay, then we need a token based authentication, because it, when you are running the jobs and all, both has to communicate, right? Your Azure DevOps, your Azure DevOps and this one, this agent machine, so they will
Local machine.
authenticate. Yeah, so that
Okay.
one will authenticate through the pat. Okay, so it is
Mm.
saying what is the pat token, so we'll give here. It is asking for a pat token. Where to create the pat token? In the same agent DevOps pool, I will go here. Sorry, in the second one, and go
Mm.
for personal access tokens. Okay, create a new token, mm, hosted agent. Okay, you give some days and all, and give full access. Okay, so it gave me the pat token. Okay, I'll just copy it for later.
It's a one time code.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, so I close it. Now I go back to my PowerShell window and I paste this. Okay. Connecting to server, enter agent pool name. Okay, so where is our screen back? Here. So what is our pool name? Demo pool. Enter agent name. What agent name we want to give? Whatever. So let it be default. Okay, anything. So it has taken my machine name wherever there's the VM machine name of that agent. Okay, so I will go for default only. Enter. So scanning for tool capabilities is checking what kind of jobs can run on this and all. Okay, connecting to the server. Now we see that it's creating this one. Still it is not yet. Enter work folder, press enter for underscore work. So it creates a, you need some temporary place to do something when the pipeline will run. Okay, so this is our temporary place, underscore work. So it is saying enter.
I didn't get from
Yeah,
here. I lost it
yeah.
actually.
So
What you did from here?
yeah, so what it does, just accept the defaults. Okay,
Enter, no,
so
first you entered the pat code
huh. So
and
after we entered the pat code, then it is asking agent pool name. What is the agent pool name you want to give? So here, this is the pool. The
yeah,
agent pool name is demo pool. So we
yeah.
gave the demo pool. Next it is asking what you want to keep the agent name. So we accepted the defaults. You can keep anything.
Okay.
Okay, I
Yeah.
accepted the default because it takes the VM name only. Okay,
Okay.
so that's fine. So this is my agent name. Next, it is saying enter work folder. Okay, or press enter for underscore work. Okay, so accept the default only. What will happen when the pipeline run? It needs a folder. Okay, in that folder only it will keep all the temporary files and all that stuff. So
Mm.
it needs a folder for that. So it is asking accept the default only.
But we already created the agent folder, right? In
Huh,
our local machine.
yeah, local machine, but that is only for binaries. Your files, whatever your pipeline won't run in that folder. Okay, that
Uh-huh.
is to install the agent, but it will
Okay.
run in actually this VM. Okay, this server it will run. Okay,
Oh,
so in that it will create a folder uh, called underscore work. Okay, and then it is asking enter run agent as a service. That means when this machine restarts, let's say this VM is restarting for some reason, let's say patching or anything like that, so it should automatically start up. So it is asking to add that at the service. So yes, so please enable this for agent service. Enter enable service SID type unrestricted. I will take defaults only, whatever is there. Take and enter user account to use for service. NT authority, again we will take whatever defaults are there. Okay, please enter whether enter to prevent service starting immediately after configuration is finished. You want to immediately start the service, or you want to start manually, up to you. Okay, so we will start it. We will take the default n. Okay, so this is fine. So now our all the config is, but the agent is still not green. Okay, still if I run a pipeline, it won't run here because it is not yet green. It's still offline.
So
So
the
if I
connection is not established
uh,
fully.
means service is not running here. So the pipe, the agent is not up. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the agent is not yet up. Okay, I think it
Okay.
automatically started. I think, let's say, yeah, or press enter. Okay, so here it automatically started. Okay, this zone started successfully. Service this automatically started. If we want to start manually, we can run this command dot slash run dot cmd.
So
Okay.
just before it was not started and now is quickly started.
Yeah. So here at the end it says service started successfully.
And the green is also, it is showing
Yeah,
on
it
the
is showing.
screen.
Yeah, on green now. So our agent has now one like one more agent came. If we see on the organization also now, organization level parallel jobs. It will doesn't take some time for.
Okay, so it has to update here, self-hosted.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. It may take a few seconds and all to update. Okay. Let's go back to our, so our, and right now our agent is running. If we have, we can click here and go for the sorry, click on the details, and here we can see the capabilities, like what kind of agent is it. Agent name is this, agent version, computer name is this, C agent. It's a Windows based agent. Okay, so let's say your pipeline has to run some PowerShell commands. Okay, so it will pick up this agent. Okay, it knows from the capabilities that it's a Windows machine. So yeah, it will run the PowerShell and all that stuff. But in a pool, let's say if you have got two machines, one is Linux, one is Windows, so automatically it will pick up the appropriate one. So whatever job you have defined in the pipeline, so based on that, it knows which pipeline to which agent to take that. Okay, so this we did for the Windows one. So let's quickly do um, for a Linux as well. So that will finish. Like only two kinds of agents are usually there in that. Okay,
Mm.
either Windows or Linux. The Linux ones are more popular because in cloud the Linux machine cost is less, so they go for the Linux one. And the Linux now also supports PowerShell and everything, even SQL Server it supports and all that. So if you have any PowerShell, it will run on Linux as well. So you can do all the .NET based uh, deployment, Node.js, Python, everything on the Linux. Okay. So usually people like most of the projects, they will go with the Linux based agent. So we will see both that Windows as well as Linux. So one we saw Windows. And if it is connecting, we will see. Okay. IT. 1 second.
Server. So Connecting to Ubuntu local server. So what you trying to do, Ranjit? Hello? Hello? Ranjit? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Ranjit,
Hello.
can you
Yeah,
hear me?
sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Are you talking all this time?
No, not again. There some connectivity.
Okay, I thought the
Yeah.
connection, the voice
No,
is lost or something.
no worries, no worries. Okay. So now we saw one Windows one. So here how we will do now again similar in new agent. Okay. Now the Linux one. So exact same thing. We'll just
Actually, what you did with putty and all this, I was
so
lost.
no, this is just a Linux machine. So as a this whoever is like system admin and all, they have to take care. Okay. So assume there is a machine already there. So forget these steps and all. These are just starting the VM and all. Okay. But
Okay, in a
that
Linux
yeah,
machine.
Linux machine. So this once the Linux machine is there, we connect the Linux machine through the putty, like this kind of terminal we get. Like Windows and all, we get a GUI. For the Linux, we don't get a GUI, we get like this. Okay. And to connect to the Linux machine, what we need is just the IP address. Okay. So when you do one, I gave the IP address of my
Yeah.
machine, the Linux machine, and it will ask me the user ID and password. So I will put my user ID and password. Okay, I am now connected to the Linux machine.
So Linux machine, where you created this Linux machine?
This is on the same machine only, but in a Oracle VM virtual box like Windows. We have the virtual workstation, right? Or a VMware workstation. Similarly, like that, if you want to practice with Linux and all, they have a software called Oracle VM Virtual Box. So it is you can run a VM, a Linux VM inside your own Windows machine only.
Oh, it is inside our own Windows machine only.
Windows machine only, yeah. So instead of
Okay.
I creating this Linux machine in a cloud and all, like Azure cloud, which will cost me cost, but this is free, like in just it's a sort
Okay.
VM. It's just a VM inside my own Windows machine only. Okay.
It's,
So, huh,
okay. There you have created a Linux machine.
Linux machine, yeah. So in actual organizations and all, this will be there in a Azure or somewhere. These machines will be there. Okay, and they will give the IP and you connect. That's it. So this one will be same. After this, you are connected. The command steps, everything is same. You doesn't know whether the VM is in on premises, Azure, or which version. We don't care.
So that's a
Okay.
part of admin. They
Huh.
have to request them and they create.
Yeah. So now let's do the same commands and repeat there. So let's create a folder here as well. Mkdir. What is mkdir agent and cd agent? I'm just creating a folder and going inside that. Okay, so I am inside that folder, home Ranjit, my agent. Okay. So now it is doing the first trying to download that. So here copy the URL and wget and download. So it will download and change the font. What is just downloading that jar file because when Linux is all commands line. So whatever there's no option for GUI and all.
Mm.
So the file is now downloaded. Okay. So next, what it is telling us to do in the steps is tar zdxcf. It is this command is to uncompress the file. Okay. Here we have to just do a change that it is not in the downloads folder. We have in our same this folder only this file. So we will run this. So now it will do all that stuff. It is just extracting that zip file. That's it. Nothing much. Okay. So it created
Oh,
some. You know,
okay.
okay. So that above command just extract like how we do double click of a zip file and it comes right. So here instead of the zip file we are doing that here extraction of that. Okay.
So, so this is the file you're extracting, the
Hmm.
agent you're extracting, which you created in DevOps, or like,
Yeah. That download whatever we got there. So we are
yeah.
extracting that. Yeah. So like how in the Windows also we did right. We
Okay.
downloaded. Yeah. We downloaded. Then it created some files and all. So this is our zip file.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
extracted all
Still,
this.
we are establishing the connection itself only.
Yeah. So I have not yet reached to that point. Okay. So next
Oh.
one, just we are extracting the zip file. That's it. All the files are there. Now this step it will establish the connection. So next is it is saying config.sh. So now I will do /config.sh.
Mhm.
So now it will ask me enter license agreement. Yes. Enter server URL. Okay. So the same way, whatever is my server URL, I will enter that. I don't have to give the full thing, just the organization name. That's it. Okay.
Mm.
So next, it is asking for the PAT token, which I saved earlier. Give the PAT. Oh, sorry. Enter for PAT. Enter PAT token. This connecting to server. Okay. Now it is asking what is the agent pool name. Okay. We can create a one more pool or we can put it in the same pool also. We can let's take the same pool, demo pool. Enter agent name. By default, it is asked taking the server name only. Okay, server 001. So that's fine. Or you can put anything, whichever other name also. Maybe I can here write Linux agent, something like that. Or ADO agent, Azure Devops agent dash Linux. Okay. Connecting to server. accept the defaults only. That's it, done. So now we have this one, and here it did not ask me for auto start, and also that's why it is still in red. So we will follow the same next step, whatever was there, right? For the Linux, it says run.sh. So let's copy this command and go here and run.sh. Okay, so now it is coming listening for jobs. Now it is ready. Your service is listening. So now we can see here also it is green. Okay. So now in our agent pool, we have got two agents. One is a Windows based agent. Okay. And one is a Linux based agent, ADO agent dash Linux. Okay. Here, if we go and we go to the capabilities, we can come to know like this is a Linux agent, x86, all that stuff it will give. Okay. And all
Mm,
the details related to that agent.
mm,
So this is how to create a self-hosted agent. Okay.
mm,
So in organizations, there will be hundreds of kind of these kind of self-hosted agents will be there. They will have some automated way of creating these agents. Okay, in organizations when they're running mission critical pipelines and all many like 30, 40 will be there. So then at least for the pipelines also there will be at least minimum some 20, 30 will be there. Okay. Considering how many parallel runs are there, it is needs to be designed based on that because everything is cost oriented. So it will take some cost. Okay, because here I have to keep two machines running all the time. Okay,
mm.
one is Linux machine. This has to be up. Okay, so now next one is coming back to the pipeline. So now we created a space where our pipeline will run. Okay, now this is just the server where or whatever your commands or whatever pipeline you are running, your Node.js dot pipeline or anything, it will run here. Okay,
Mm.
now it. Uh, okay, let's see now in the pipeline. Okay. So in the pipeline, uh,
So
yeah.
in general, the whatever we have done in our local system,
Mhm.
so we do that in the Azure cloud or what? Like where do
Oh,
we?
yeah. Yeah, Azure, AWS, any cloud and all we can do because this connection doesn't matter. Okay, you will still connect like that, give a IP and you connect. So
Mm,
you won't even know it is a Azure VM or which VM and all that. Okay, but the steps are exactly the same. There is no difference. Okay,
mm,
because when you created a agent, it did not give you any separate step. Okay, for a for a Azure agent or for something and all, it just gives the default steps. Okay, so when we go on a new agent, okay, it doesn't differentiate anything for Azure or cloud or anything like that. Okay,
mm.
just it says whether it is a 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay.
86.
Oh, yeah, x86. So it doesn't matter. You can run the same command on AWS cloud or GCP cloud or Alibaba cloud, whichever cloud. It will all work. Okay. Mm,
So
that's, I think.
we select the cloud from here and then.
No, there is no option of that mentioning. Okay. So that is up to you where you want to run. So it doesn't dictate that whether it is a Azure cloud or whichever cloud. Okay.
Okay,
The
these two
steps.
at the moment running in our local
Huh, yeah,
in your
local.
local system.
Yeah, but the same would definitely run on a cloud as well. So the steps won't be anything separate. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So,
So
so if we have, let me see if a VM I have already.
mhm. So in when we're working in the office environment,
Hmm,
so we do in our
yeah.
Azure cloud,
Hmm.
all these
So
things.
yeah, in Azure, yeah. But this is again doing like click and do, but nowadays all Terraform or Cloud Formation, ARM templates, Bicep, they all do.
Uh,
But yeah, for testing and all, um, mm, East US exit.
but that is infrastructure as a cloud, right?
Yeah, yeah. Infra- Infrastructure as code, ISC.
Uh, IUC, you said.
IAC, infrastructure as code.
IAC.
IAC, yeah. So I take class for Terraform as well. So here I was taking like that. So your code will be like kind of this. You create some VM and all that stuff. So it will be like this kind of thing you have to create. Okay. So you don't have
Mm.
to go to portal and all. Usually all the organizations slowly they're restricting the access to portal. You have to do everything from that.
From the Linux machine or VM virtual machine, like a
No, from your Visual Studio
Visual
Code.
Basic.
Yeah, from
Okay.
yeah. You create a VM or you create a virtual network, anything,
From
all
VS
from
Code.
the yeah, all from your Visual Studio Code only. Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. So even ARM templates.
ARM templates are going out slowly because it is so complicated to read. Okay. So
Mm.
it's
What
good
about the
for
bicep?
bicep is a little better. It is kind of Terraform like it's a little bit human readable, I would say. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So Ubuntu 22.
So you're trying to create a VM
Oh yeah. Yeah.
in your cloud.
Yeah, in the Azure cloud. So there we will run the one. So here everything is like priced and all. So it will saying 0.07 USD per hour.
Per hour. Okay.
Per hour, but we will
What
just
there is the configuration you give.
no, yeah, yeah. That all the configuration we give. What is the size of the disk? What is the network? What is everything?
Did,
Because
did you give that or it is taken default?
no, it just next. It takes a lot of things default. We don't have to
Uh-huh.
do anything. But
Okay.
because everything it usually in cloud and all it tries to take the pricey things like premium SSD and all that stuff and all which we don't need because that will be more costly. So we just have to take it to the
Yeah.
standard and all because otherwise they will if you don't see those and click it will be more pricier, more expensive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So once we connect once the VM is there, we can connect from anywhere in the world, or you can restrict the IP ranges also. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as a end user or developer and all, they don't see any difference whether where it is this VM it is. They won't even come to know. Okay, because you just get a IP to connect.
Um, what you said, we just give a.
We just give a IP address to connect. Okay, so now our
Uh-huh.
VM is ready. So
Okay, so we create the VMs and we give it to them and they.
yeah, so here it is given some IP address. We will copy the IP address in the same way. We'll go to the putty. We'll create a new session. Give that IP address. Okay, and connect to whatever user ID password we give. Okay, yeah, we connected. So next, our stuff, whatever our steps was there. Okay, in this, let's say new agent we are creating, our steps is not going to change for sorry, we are Linux we are doing. Our steps are not going to change. Okay, so this is our cloud machine.
Mhm.
Now, double get this. It's so fast because it is Azure to Azure only. This download it is instantly in 1.7 second it downloaded. Okay.
Mm.
Now it is saying tar ZXCF. Tar
Azure
ZXVF
to Azure. So you're doing now in
on the Microsoft cloud. Okay. So it
mm,
is extracting. So our steps are like not changing at all. Okay, whether we do it on the cloud or something. So next this is done. We'll paste this. So now it will ask us the URL and all that stuff. Okay. Accept the
mm,
license. Enter server URL. Enter this. Pad
mm,
token. We'll enter the pad token. Connecting to server. Enter pool name. What is our pool name? Demo pool. Demo pool is our pool name. Enter agent name will take default, whatever is there. So now you see here one more agent came. And okay, yeah, that's it. So it is Linux one, it is not auto started. We have to start run.sh. Okay. And to
Mm,
run that in background, we put a ampersand sign to run that in background. This here.
mm,
What it says. Yeah, let's see if it turns green or not. Yeah, okay, it will turn green. Okay, so now we have got three agents. Okay, one is our on-premises ADO agent Linux, one is our machine desktop Windows, and now one is cloud one as well. Okay, so we go here, see in the capabilities. At least maybe we will come to know something. Doesn't we cannot even identify it is related to Azure or anything. Okay, there is no like we cannot differentiate or we cannot find out. Okay, so that's why it is very difficult to know where your VM, like where it is running. It could be in Azure, it could be somewhere, it could be in a
mm,
container also. Okay, because it's just a operating system which it matters. Okay, so now we got some places to run, and it is this. This is our pool name. Okay,
mm,
so now quickly we'll go to the pipelines, and pipeline mainly two types of pipeline are there. Okay,
mm,
one is called the classic pipeline. Okay, which is GUI based. Okay, which is GUI
mm.
based. Okay,
Yeah.
like you create it, but sharing is a problem in that. Sharing is a pain because when anything is in GUI, you have to you cannot document it, right? You have to create your own documentation. Okay, these are the step or screenshots on all that, and send it to someone else if
Yeah.
they want to replicate. Okay, and that is a legacy one. Now we call it as a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of features are coming for that. Okay, the new features whatever are coming for the new generation pipelines which are called YAML based pipeline. Okay,
Mm,
we will see both, and because still organizations are using classic based because it's more GUI based, it is more user friendly for a developer and all who don't know the pipeline stuff and a lot of DevOps stuff, they find it much easier as well. Okay, so both are fine. I will see. So
So
first,
in terms of developers' perspective,
hmm,
we think, or in DevOps perspective, we do whatever
yeah,
we
means
like to do.
if the team is little bit evolved, then go for the YAML based pipeline because all the new features, plugins, whatever Microsoft is releasing, they are releasing for the YAML based pipeline. Okay,
Mm,
and whatever the GUI based pipeline, as slowly the people are going out of that, so
yeah.
that's why they are not a lot of new features are getting there. Okay, only
Mm,
security fixes and all that kind of things are coming. Okay.
mm,
So we will see both the pipe, like how to create that and all.
mm,
So the first one we will create a YAML based pipeline. Okay, so sorry, not YAML, that GUI based pipeline, which is called the classic pipeline. Create a
mm,
pipeline. So and come here. Okay, use the
mm.
classic editor to create a pipeline without YAML. So these all are for YAML based pipeline. Okay,
Yeah.
it is asking that where is my pipeline code. Okay, but
Mm,
the YAML based pipeline is all in a code actually. Okay, it is all in a single file or set of files like that. So it is asking where is your pipeline, but we don't need all that. We need a classic one. So we will ignore this and we will click this. Use the classic editor.
mm.
Once we are here, now it is asking where is our code and all like dot node.js or Python, whichever code and all is there. Okay, so let's
So
do
for
we
classic, the repos will be the same.
Yeah,
Mm,
repos will be same. Yeah. So this is of the application repo, not the pipeline repo and all. Okay. Because for pipeline, there is no code and all. Okay. For this one. So it is asking us where is your application code. Okay. Might be your Python or Node.js, whichever is there. It is
mm,
asking for that. Okay. Or it supports many other things as well. Okay. And continue. And we will click here. It is giving us some samples like what do we want to do here, or do we have a our Python based packages we need to create, or .NET or Java or whatever. Do we want to deploy in Azure functions for Python? We can click that, so it will create automatically those steps for us. Okay,
mm,
so or we can click an empty stop, so or start with an empty job. So example, let's say our task is to deploy an Azure function for Python. In Azure function, we have Python based application which we want to deploy in a Azure function. So we just go and we'll say apply. These are predefined templates are there. So you see here automatically some 3 4 things came. Okay, so these all are tasks. Okay,
mm,
so this is the smallest thing which will be executed in pipeline. The entire thing is called pipeline, but these are the smallest tasks. Okay, this is
mm,
a one isolated, one atomic smallest task. Now, where are these going to run? These are all going to run in this one agent run agent somewhere it is given. Okay, agent inherit whichever is there from the default, it is going there. Now we know where we want to run. We will run in our own demo pool like that. Okay, and um, demo pool is showing like here. Okay. Okay, now we want to see the empty job. Let me go back in the pipelines and show you the empty job, how we create pipelines and classic editor. Okay, and London Cafe thing. Now instead of taking some predefined template, we will start with this empty job. Okay, now it is asking us which kind of agents and all we want to run. So by default, it is taking Azure pipelines. Okay, that means the Microsoft based agent. Okay, Microsoft was said. Let's take the same one only. Here we have many options in Microsoft. Let's say your pipeline is doing something on Linux, you will take appropriate. If you're doing something on Windows, yeah, whichever one you can take, select on that. Okay, so let's see. We will take Ubuntu latest. Okay, so now we are here in this space. So we have to now create our jobs. Okay, so in this pipeline, the smallest thing is a task. Okay, so now we will click here, add a task to agent job. So currently there are no tasks. We click here. Now we can select, okay, what kind of task, the smallest thing we can do in this. Okay, so maybe we want to run some commands. So let's see, we will run some commands. Okay, so here it is saying bash or command line or something. So this one is a very common way of doing it. So it is asking it is inline or file. If you already have some script, you can give the path of the script. If you don't, you can write the commands here only. Okay, echo hello world might be it is doing. Let's do some commands we will invoke. Okay, and we'll see the date command as well. Okay, also let's see the host name command as well. Okay, so we are writing some commands. These all will run in this task. Okay, so the task is the smallest item which can be executed. Okay, so now this is done. We will do save and queue. Okay, so save will just save the pipeline. It won't execute it. Save and queue will quickly execute it. Okay,
mm,
save and run. So now our pipeline execution it is showing. We can see like this. So currently this one is running on the Azure pipelines. Okay, so it is not using our pipeline which we just created. It is taking the Microsoft one. We will execute on both. Okay, first it does is it takes the code, it downloads the code, everything. Okay, it will download from that repository whatever code is there. Now next it is running some commands and all which we did. Okay, so echo hello world something was there, so it did the echo. So our bash script is running based on that whatever we gave our thing. So in the actual real world also your pipelines will be like this. Okay, like this kind of thing. So this is all your build pipeline. Okay, so in classic these pipelines and all will be the build pipelines, and once they build they will dump some jar file or something they create in and then we have to create a separate release pipeline here. Okay, in a
mm,
release pipeline. Okay, but in a YAML based one, both are same. Like in a file, there is no difference as such. Okay,
mm,
so here. Also, we have to create a separate pipeline for the release, and similarly, how we created like that, we have to add again some tasks and all that. But in our classic way, we will have two different kind of pipeline. Our build pipeline will be separate, and here the release pipeline. Okay, we'll do that. Like we will have some proper application code, and then we will do that. A sample pipeline currently is something. Oh, ping. We have given a ping command which will be going on forever. So let's cancel that. And so, okay, I think that's enough for today. 12:40. It's now more than 1 hour. Okay. So today, what we saw, we created hosted agents. We learned about what kind of agent pools are there, Microsoft based agent and our self-hosted agents, and we did the self agent on Linux and Windows and a cloud as well. Okay, let me delete the resource group,
Yeah,
otherwise it will incur
lost
the
you.
cost continuously. Okay, so today we learned that, and just at a high level we saw what our classic pipelines. But let me get some proper application, some Python code or some sample one. Then will do a deployment. Like both, we'll create a build pipeline and a release pipeline. Okay, we'll see
Mhm,
what is the build pipeline. What all things are there in the build pipeline? Okay,
mhm,
so usually the build pipeline will have you download the code from your Git repository or your Azure DevOps repos and all. Okay,
mhm,
then you scan the usually the scanning is also part of the build pipeline. Okay, might be you want to scan some material scan. Okay, there are many softwares are there for vulnerability scanning of the code like Vera code. Okay, or materials is one of the scanner for vulnerability as well, and
mhm,
sonar cube scanner for the code quality. Maybe the developer has not used proper syntax or something, like proper best practices are not followed, so it will highlight all those things, any security gaps and all, it will highlight those things. Okay, so
mhm,
those kind of tools are there. So that also scanning is also part of the build tool. Okay, it is not mandatory, but in practice in general the best practices is, the scanning and all will be there in that. Similarly, once your code is scanned and all, you do the build part. Okay, the build part means creating some executable or package to be further deployed on a app service, on a function app, or somewhere. So that part goes. Okay, and the creation of some of the build artifact, that is
mhm,
called the artifact. Okay, and once that artifact and all is done, then you do some, as part of that, do some testing as well. Some basic testing will be there. So testing also part of the build pipeline only. Okay,
mhm,
so these all things will be there as part of the build pipeline. And once build pipeline is all fine, it will deliver a artifact. Means some package and all, it will deliver. Okay, it could be one file, it could be multiple files like that. Okay, so
mhm,
now those files needs to go somewhere, like where it will be viewed by the public user. Okay, like
mhm,
maybe it will be deployed on a IIS web server, or maybe it is deployed on a Azure app service, or it will be
mhm,
deployed on some VM. Okay, so there, when it will go there, that part is called release pipeline. Okay, so in the classic pipeline, both are different. Okay, you create your
mhm.
build pipeline here in the pipelines, you create a release pipeline in releases. Okay,
Yeah.
but in the YAML way, it is both are the same file only. In your own same file, you have different stages. Okay, build stage and the deployment stage. Okay,
Mhm,
so we will see both, but these are all part of the
mhm.
pipeline.
So
These are some of the variables we will see later when we do the pipelines and all. What are these?
mhm.
Any doubts for today's session, today's class?
Mm. So what are the information I need to get from them to start with CI/CD?
Yeah, for the CI/CD, you ask them like what, like are they migrating some existing pipelines or creating from scratch and all? Okay, so ask them like
Mhm.
those kind of information. Do you have already the pipelines available
Pipelines are already there.
already there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so ask them then, are those classic pipelines or are those YAML based pipelines? Okay.
Okay, we can't find ourselves by looking at them.
But where are which software they, like in Azure DevOps only they are there or somewhere else
Yeah,
there?
in is Azure DevOps only.
Yeah. So by looking into, you will find out. Okay. So right now, whatever we saw, okay,
Yeah.
if the pipeline looks like this kind of thing in some sequence and all. Okay. So this is the YAML. This is, sorry, this is the legacy based, the your classic pipeline. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like that. But if you have some pipeline which looks like kind of some YAML file, kind of this one single file only. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing, it won't look as a GUI. It is just a file. That's it. So that is called
Okay.
YAML based pipeline. Okay. Uh, so those way you will come to know. And then also you go and check like how many pipelines are there, like how many pipelines they want to run in parallel. So let's say they will say, no, we have 20 pipelines or 30 pipelines. We want to run at a time like 10 all the time or three, four. So then you go in the organization setting, how I showed you, and see in the parallel. Do you have the capability to run all those, or do we have to ask for more in that case? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because that day we saw it is only three or something, right? Two hosted agent and one something was there. So only
Yeah.
three can run parallel at the time. So ask them like at any given point of time, only three can run at parallel. So is that enough, or do we need more headroom for that? So like collect those kind of details. Like in a
Mm-hmm.
week, every time, how, what is the volume of pipeline those will be running and all that. So kind of those kind
Mm-hmm.
of details you try to get. And also see, is the pipelines accessing any in-house, any other within network, within your own organization network, any resources. So then you have to plan to run in a hosted pipeline, in a self-hosted. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the pipeline now.
Hmm.
The pipeline says backend tests.
So back, so here you are, if you are like for example, you see my screen, I am in the pipeline, I click the pipeline. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you click on edit. Okay, you don't do any change, just click on edit, then it will show you.
Okay. 1 second. So I'm in the pipeline.
Hmm.
So recently run pipelines. Okay. Do I need to click on like
Edit. Huh.
no? First I have to click one of the pipeline, right?
Click one of the pipeline here. Click one of the pipeline, then
Yeah.
click on edit.
Okay. 1 second. I just click the old pipeline.
Huh. So
One is just now done. So yeah. So edit. So in the edit, I can see
hmm.
all the testing code like pool, variable steps, um, tasks.
So that is then in that case a YAML. It is not a GUI, right? It is just a text file kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
variable,
text.
yes. Yeah, yeah. So that is YAML based pipeline then. Okay, so
Uh,
that is the more de facto standard nowadays. It is not that is not GUI based. Okay, so that is called YAML based pipeline. Okay,
yeah.
and
So it
this
says
one, yeah.
bs dot organization slash something. Oh yeah, yeah. It says dot YAML. Yeah.
Oh yeah, .yaml. Okay, so that is
Yeah.
YAML based pipeline.
Mm,
And so most of the organizations and all already they're migrating, because this is more of legacy. It's still
mm,
supported because it is easy to do in the GUI way, and
mm,
there you have to do everything in that file only in the in that language, YAML language. Okay.
mm,
So
mm,
some find it bit initially challenging and all, but yeah, that is the way forward what Microsoft is planning. Okay.
mm, mm,
So we will see that tomorrow in that case. So but today's it was more of a hosted
build.
agent and all that stuff, yeah, and classic pipelines, just to know that, because classic pipelines anyway slowly it is going away, maybe new features are not coming. So
Yeah.
we won't see a lot of that, but we will see more of the YAML based or in our examples. Okay.
Yeah, because
But you
here
check,
also
you
they're doing
still check,
YAML, right?
yeah, you still check it out, all the pipelines whichever are there are all are YAML based or anything, but I feel most will be YAML all should be like that only.
Mm-hmm. So each one I have to open and just see whether it is.
Just edit and just you can see that.
Some doesn't have even edit.
No, that is could be logs or something. You go back to the pipelines, click on the pipelines, and then
Uh-huh.
select anything and then do the edit.
Okay. So some are like okay, PR automated.
Hmm.
Uh, Okay. By looking at the in the pipeline,
Mm,
so by looking at the files and all these,
mm.
how we can find whether it is a pipeline or something. All of them are pipelines only,
Yeah,
right?
all of them are. Yeah. When you are in the in the left side, if you are in the pipelines tab,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
everything in that are separate, are pipelines only. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
if you go on one of the pipeline, whatever it will show, those are the logs, like it executed, maybe whatever times in past, these it will show the historic runs of all the single pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
if you, yeah.
okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Build. Okay.
So these are all
Mm.
built pipelines. Then you go to releases. You may see the, I don't go to releases and see if you see any
Release.
releases. Hmm,
Yeah, there are releases there.
Okay.
0809. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Select
So
any release and go for edit, and then you'll come to know. Yes.
okay. Oh no. Edit. So when I edit, it is coming in a picture
Hmm.
mode.
Yeah, yeah. So that is at least the classic one. So some parts they are doing in the classic one, the release
Hmm.
part.
Okay. So they can see the stage
Hmm,
where it is,
hmm,
isn't it?
hmm.
Stage.
Yeah.
So okay. Artifacts, stages.
Hmm.
Okay.
No,
Hmm.
we'll do both. We'll do more on the ML only over there.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow again for the
Yeah.
YAML pipelines and all. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Chalo,
And
see you then.
Ranjit, this will update quickly, this video. How long it
Yeah, yeah,
takes?
yeah. Yeah, immediately it comes. It's in the cloud. Maybe check after
Mhm.
some half an hour or 1 hour. So,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Chalo, see you then.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Good day. Bye.